Hi YouTube world, it's Adrienne in New York. Welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for joining me. I am in the midst of my 30-day 30 Lippie challenge. I think now I'm calling it 30-day challenge, Lippie challenge. I have no idea. Basically, it is a challenge I set forth for myself to familiarize myself with with my lip collection. I had amassed quite a lot of lip products and I wanted to understand myself better, my buying choices, what types of products I really like, why I'm avoiding wearing certain products. And for me, I don't just like to look at my collection and do a quick declutter. I want to use things. I want to really evaluate what I like, what my natural preferences are, versus like sometimes I think, and I don't know if you're one of these people, but I buy things based on really strong recommendations from other YouTubers or friends. And because those recommendations are so strong, even if a product doesn't work out for me, I try to get myself to like it. And that trying to get myself to like something sometimes causes me to hold on to something that's not serving me any longer. And if that sounds like something that you're interested in, if that sounds like something that's familiar to you, maybe stay tuned, because today is day 29 and I've been through a lot of lip products, but today is one of my favorites. It's my roundup of my favorite MAC formulas, MAC Cosmetics lipsticks, formulas and shades. And I'm gonna do a quick swatch and talk about some of the formulations. If that's interesting to you, stay tuned. So technically, if you have been watching my series here, I have done already one MAC dedicated video, and that is on the MAC Love Me lipsticks. If you're interested in that formula, I'm not actually going to be talking about it in this video. That is absolutely my #1 favorite formula of all MAC lipsticks, and I have a dedicated video. I will link it in the comments below or in the description box. I'll do a good job and I will actually link the video so it's easy for you to find. Today, I want to kind of dedicate myself to the other formulas, the other more traditional formulas of MAC that shouldn't be overlooked. There's a reason they're still around. There's a reason why even some of these shades are super iconic. So the 4 other formulas I'm going to be talking about in this video are the Satin, Creamsheen, Lustre, and Amplified formulas. If you are interested in any of those, stay tuned, because I'm going to be doing a swatchy poo of the shades that I have and talking about the differences and why I like them. Currently on my lips, I have Rebel, which is a satin formula. It's a beautiful, deep fuchsia, but it has a little more purple in it. It is a stunning color. It is eye-catching, bold color. But what I love about it is its vibrancy. It's not too vampy. It is really vibrant. And the satin formula is really comfortable. It is your classic lipstick. I would say it's like a regular kind of cream formula. But what MAC does, at least with certain shades, is it infuses just so much pigment. And the colors are, you could find so many colors that work for you or that are playful and can make you kind of feel all sorts of different ways. And that's what I like about MAC. I feel like MAC does a good job of really addressing every skin tone, every personality, and you could find yourself in MAC. I actually probably loved MAC for like 15 years ago, more than 15 years ago, about 20 years ago. I was obsessed with it. I only had MAC products. I was a MAC girl through and through. And I think just over the years, I started to experiment with lots of other makeup and they kind of like fell by the wayside. And I'm not exactly sure why, because The Love Me formula is actually what brought me back into the MAC fold. And once that brought me back in, I realized that there were a lot of beautiful shades that I missed and that I couldn't really find exact dupes. And a lot of shades, what I've come to realize also is that a lot of shades that I love in very, very expensive formulas, MAC's already done it. And their formulas are pretty good, depending on what finish you choose that works for you. So what you won't hear me talk about is the matte and retro matte formula. I really don't like the retro matte formula. I feel it's too drying. And the matte formula is okay, depends on the shade, but I don't actually have any in my arsenal right now. And the other formula I think that is very popular, I mean, they have a few others. They have Frost and a couple of others, but the newest one of the newest ones is the powder formula. And I don't know about that one. I suspect I know what it's trying to be or what it's like. It's probably like the Lisa Eldridge formula. I don't know if it achieves it, but I am curious, and I do have one shade coming on its way, but it won't be here for this video, so I'll update later. But I was curious to try the powder formula. So those are the formulas I won't be talking about. But with the four that I am talking about, I can speak with at least certainty when it comes to these shades. And I think some of the shades that you will hear me talk about are pretty popular, iconic shades. Rebel is one of those shades. I actually just have Rebel in a mini, but it's really, really beautiful. It's actually much darker in the bullet than on the lips. And it has a great wear time. It doesn't really transfer or migrate outside my lip lines or anything like that. I don't wear a lip liner most of the time. And so this shade, as vibrant, as dark as it is, as rich as it is, I'm not self-conscious about wearing it and it transferring either on my teeth or going up or anywhere. Of course, it will transfer onto like cups and things, but for the most part, it has a really nice wear down. And you can even blot it to create like a more mattified look, but still with the vibrancy. And it's a great formula. It's a great like regular lipstick formula. Let me put on the other shade that I have in this formula, and yeah, we'll talk more. This shade here is Mocha. Again, I have it in a little mini. It's such a pretty, deep kind of terracotta peach. It's just an unusual color. I think it's very flattering, very warm, easy to wear. Really love it. And these formulas, this is where I actually don't mind. I did a video about nude lipsticks and how I'm not a big fan of nude lipsticks, but in MAC formula and the kind of like the regular formulas, I actually do play around with nude, and I feel like this is very close to a nude. This is a nude on a lot of different deeper skin tones. On me, it's definitely mid-tone, but it's just soft. It's soft, it's easy, it's toasty. It's like a toasty peach. And I love it. I love it. It's a great color. So this is Mocha. So here's what I meant by nude. This is a different formulation. This is Creamsheen in the color Modesty. And this is a cool toned mauvey rose. A little bit on the light side. It has a slight white base, which normally I would run for the hills if anything has a white base. But for some reason, this color works on me. I don't put it on too thickly. It has some sheerness, but it can be built up, and it's definitely creamier than the Satin formula. So I consider it to be a little bit more buildable than the Satin formula, so you can get some transparency from it. It's still as comfortable, but even creamier. So this is the Creamsheen. This color doesn't have a lot of like obvious reflection, like reflective little quality, like glimmers or stuff, but there is something about it. that gives it a little bit of pearl. There's a pearl in it that's really subtle, but it brings a lot of life. And I just think it's such a pretty, cool tone pink. And it's very, for me, kind of like 1960s. I would love like a really crazy winged eye and like, you know, pale skin, big hair. I don't know, very twiggy, but in a wearable way, because a lot of those like kind of beige whiteout colors are just horrible on me. Maybe they're beautiful on you, but on me they're horrible. And I don't like to wear lip liners, and the only way to wear like some of those light shades to make them work is with a lip liner, and that's just one step too much for me. I like the ease of this color. I like that it's a nice nude pink, for me, and I don't have to give it much thought. And this one, is Modesty. And in the bullet, it looks a little bit warmer than on my lips, but again, that varies with, you know, how pigmented your lips are. So also something to keep in mind. So that's Modesty. So this is entering into a new formulation. This is the Lustre formula. Now the Lustre formula, similar to the Creamsheen, has a lot of slip, has some transparency. I actually consider it more moisturizing than the Creamsheen. And this color in particular, it's called Hug Me. It's this one here. Again, kind of shows more nude in the bullet, a little more brownie and a little more rosy on my lips. This is almost the warmer counterpart of Modesty for me. Like, that's what I kind of consider it. This is another ideal nude for me. Super easy color for me to wear. I am not worried about a lip liner. I'm not worried about a mirror with this. It's so easy to put on. It has a good amount of pigmentation. It has, by the way, I should just mention, all of them have that wonderful warm vanilla smell. If you've smelled any MAC lipstick, that's the smell of a MAC lipstick. I love that scent. It's really soft, it dissipates, but it's just very inviting. I like it. I prefer it to some other kind of scents out there. So this formula, this just builds really well. You can keep layering it on. It wears down nicely, softly. You can reapply without having to, you know, start anew, like wipe everything down and reapply. It doesn't grab onto any kind of dry patches or anything, just moisturizes the lips. It's really, really lovely product. So this is the Lustre formula. It does have some pearlescence, this color, Hug Me. And I will say that some other Lustre colors have varying degrees of kind of that pearl in it. Some of them are a little too pearly for me. I think this is probably my second favorite formula outside of the Love Me formula, because I actually have 3 shades in it. So so this one's Hug Me. I'll keep talking about the formula, but let me put on another shade. So this color here is Plumful, still in that Lustre formula. I will say that the Lustre formula, it's not as pigmented as the Love Me formula. It is, again, slightly buildable. There is the slightest, sheerest kind of element to it, but it's buildable. But you won't be able to build it to the pigmentation of the Love Me. And I feel like the Love Me lipsticks are very, very hydrating, the way that this one feels, but it has that pigmentation aspect. So food for thought. I know though, not everyone wants a super pigmented lipstick. It might not be your cup of tea. This is actually like a muted, bright pink. Picking up a little more vibrant on camera just because of the white light, but it's actually more muted. And you can see the sheen of it. It's really, really nourishing. It's very similar to the L'Oreal Shine lipsticks, but these have a bit more pigmentation. So if you're looking for kind of a comparison, I would say this is, if you like the L'Oreal Shine, you'd probably like the Lustre Lipsticks, and you'd really like the Love Me lipsticks for the feel, the kind of buttery feel, the nourishing aspect. So that is Plumful. I love this color. So this is also Lustre formula. This is Ladybug, and I remember now, I talked about this lipstick already, so I'm not going to go on too much about it. I will link the video where I talk about Ladybug down below. But this is a red, and so you can see here how vibrant of a red it is in the bullet, but how sheer and kind of popsicle-like it is on my lips. And that sort of should give you the idea of how this Lustre formula works and that transparency I'm talking about. So it's just an easy lipstick. It's even an easy red. It's meant to be a little messy. You can do a little blot down of it to give a very kind of K-beauty blot lip effect. I do that in that video, so you can check that out, but it's just a really, really pretty, I just ate a cherry popsicle kind of color. So that is Ladybug. This shade here is Brick Ola. And this is in the Amplified formula. And this is the last formula I'll be talking about. I have this and one other shade. This is probably the most pigmented formula. It has a lot of that pigmentation, similar to the Satin. So really full pigment, but still a lot of butteriness, So I would say one step up from the Lustre formula in terms of pigmentation, and one step to the left of Satin formula in terms of its comfort level. This is really, really luxurious feeling. It feels luxurious. Now this one, you may want, this one can potentially get a tiny bit messy because that butteriness is quite a lot. But when you pick a mid-tone shade like this, so this is sort of like a bricky, but has rose in it, it's friendlier to wear without having to fuss too much about it. I mean, that's why I have the two shades that I do. And I have, again, a mini version of this. I love mini lipsticks. I just think it's the best way to experience lipsticks, and especially if they do it right, meaning they don't kind of, a brand doesn't mess up. I know sometimes they don't spend enough money on the mini, it falls apart, it crumbles. There's an art to it, but I find that MAC's minis are awesome, are really, really awesome, and they're true to their full-size counterpart. So have some faith there. But so this is Bricola. I really, really like this color. Again, kind of a toasty rose. It has a tiny bit of brown, a tiny bit of orange. It's a really lovely fall color. I ended with one of my favorite shades. So this is in the Amplified formula again. So remember, that's the really, really saturated color, but that's super comfortable, creamy, buttery feel. Not even a balmy feel, a buttery feel to the lips. It just fills in all your lip lines. It just brings your lips to life. And this color is called Dubonnet, D-U-B-O-N-N-E-T. I have it in a mini, and it's a beautiful brick red, a really true brick red. It's one of my favorite shades to wear. It's just really sophisticated. I adore it. And it has really good lasting power. Again, you can kind of blot these down. You can create that very K-beauty look where you kind of, do the ombre where your lips are quite dark in the center and then you ombre it out. I find that this formula does play around with that really nicely, so you can do that. And it's just a really, really great formula. I can't say enough. So that was my roundup of all my other, MAC lipsticks, 8 of them that are not the Love Me formula. And that's basically my collection of MAC. And I'm very, very happy with the collection that I have. Don't sleep on MAC. If you're like me and you kind of like deviated and entered into other realms and said, oh, MAC's not that great, I find that people are still so passionate about their MAC shades. I'm a part of a Facebook group and of all these wonderful women mostly who are makeup obsessed, and they, just asking them like what are their favorite MAC shades. People are really passionate about the shades that they've had in their arsenal for like decades, and it's like their number one shade. And I love hearing that from people. I love hearing about their kind of MAC story. And I feel like they're now one of those brands where they are a staple. I remember when MAC first came onto the scene, and no, they were so kind of like standoffish to a lot of people, and you didn't know what to make of them. You were walking through the department store, at least in Miami I was, and I'm like, what's that new brand? It's so different from the Estee Lauder counter and Lancome and Chanel, and there was all these makeup artists that would do your makeup, and it was like they did such an amazing job whenever you would like stop in, and they had just all these fun shades, and they've really, really spoke, I feel like, to my generation when I was, a teenager, and I discovered them. I just thought, oh my God, this is it. This is artistry in makeup. And I still feel like there's a lot of that within the brand, and you can find that, and you can find your MAC shade. So if you're a MAC girl, if you have a MAC shade that's yours, let me know what that is. Give me a story. Tell me why you love it so much, or what you used to love and don't love anymore, and what you're willing to try. So just comment down below, say hi. I'm always happy to say hi back and have a little combo. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye. Hi, future me. I just realized I wanted to make mention of one last thing about these lipsticks, especially the amplified lipsticks. They have a beautiful staining quality to them. So that last shade I was wearing, Dubonnet, this is the stain left behind. It's like a completely even stain. I can't even get that stain from things that call themselves lip stains. So I just wanted to make mention of that, because it's also why I think you may really enjoy one of the more fully pigmented formulas. So anywho, just wanted to share that. Clearly, I love lipstick. Okay, now for real, goodbye.